and you go through. You're the first Japanese-born player to earn a Division I scholarship, even before Rui Hachimura. Did you know Rui in Japan?
Yeah. Sorry. I met him when he was still in high school, and I was sophomore in college, I think. So yeah, I know him since he was kid. He was like high school.
Did he seek guidance from you coming? He's younger. Did he often reach out to you, and did you have a relationship when he came to the United States?
Yeah, I mean, so like when I met him first time, he already he told me that he already decided to go to college in US. So yeah, I gave him some advices, and something like he should do while he's in Japan and stuff like that.
And he chose to go to Gonzaga, which is all the way out in the Pacific Northwest, but obviously closer to home for him. I'm sure that made it a little easier for him. Your breakout game this year, I thought, you'd played well, but that game in Washington, and Rui played in that game. Had you gone against him in your previous stops in Memphis and Toronto? Had you gotten a chance to both be playing and going against one another?
Yeah, that wasn't the first time we actually played against each other, but I would say that was the first time. I was actually a rotation guy. I mean, he's been playing a lot of minutes, so it was always me. Like when I was in Memphis, I played for like 4 or 5 minutes. But I guess that was because,
but in that game in Washington earlier this season, there were many times where you guys were matched up with one another, and like you said, you're in the rotation, he was in the rotation. I know the last time they played here and when they came to Brooklyn, he was hurt and he didn't play. But that must have been cool though to be going against him and knowing that you're playing a role, and the Nets were winning that game pretty handily too.
That was really fun. I really enjoyed that game. Your time now in Brooklyn. You mentioned that you were just hoping to make the team, and now suddenly you're involved there. I know there was that 2-game stretch. There was the game in Washington, and then the very next night against Charlotte. It was right after the coaching change. You guys were starting to kind of, Kyrie was out, so you guys were trying to, it was Kevin Durant, and Kevin was very energized. And I remember that game against Charlotte. You're playing with the closing lineup. You're there at the end of the game. Kevin hit you with a couple of passes in the corner. Your corner three, which is, I think you're like 16 for 21 this year from the corner, which is amazing, which is unbelievable. And after the game, Jacques Vaughn said, Utah, have you met Kevin? You guys, he implying that you guys didn't even really know each other. I guess, though, and I thought that was odd, but at the same time, I guess you probably hadn't had a lot of time to interact, right? At that point? I mean,
you knew each other, but you didn't spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, I thought he meant he meant something like, have I met K before this season? Yeah. And obviously, I have played against him, but we never really sat down, talked and talking to each other. So I said no, but it's really feeling good that he can trust me on the court. So it's great.
Yeah, you have to earn that trust with him. What are some things that he seems to be very vocal with you? What are some of the things that he has shared with you to try and help you?
Well, he just keeps telling me to shoot with confidence, and someone like KD tell me to shoot, then I gotta shoot. So he's just giving me some great advices.
And he's such a great passer. Right. People don't think about that with him, but he always seems to make the right basketball play.
Yeah.
And you just have to be in the right spot.
Yeah, that's why he's one of the best players in the history. So
when you take the floor and when you first jumped into rotation here, and you weren't a rotation player when they gave you an opportunity to play,
what are the things in your mind where is it I have to make a three, or you're putting pressure on yourself there? Is it just defend? What are kind of the things that are going through your mind when you're first getting on the floor and thinking, all right, I want to stay here?
I guess I gotta start with the defense, because I don't play defense. Obviously, I don't get minute. So start with the defense. Play with energy. Just work hard. Be smart. And shooting sometimes like it's not gonna fall every time. So, but like KD always tell me, just shoot with the confidence when I'm open. So that's a few things that was in my mind.
How about adjusting to the way the Nets play defensively and the scheme? Was that an adjustment for you? Did you take to that right away? What do you feel is it makes it your strengths seem to play into that scheme?
Yeah, I think one of my strengths is that I can guard multiple positions, and we've been switching, we've been using switching a lot lately. So sure. I guess that's definitely helped me, because like I can play one, like I can play four. Sometimes I've been playing five. So yeah, so that defensive scheme really helping me right now.
Your time in Brooklyn off the court, have you had much time to explore? Have you spent a lot of time in New York City and in Brooklyn?
Not a lot, but I mean, I don't. Besides coming to a practice facility or arena, I don't really go outside. I'm a guy who just
you're a homebody.
Room. Yeah,
they like to say.
Yeah,
now go ahead.
No, I just like to chill in my room. So, but yeah,
all right.
So, yeah.
Now, you got married though back in May. Akiko,
yeah,
who I met at the Barclays Center 10th anniversary event. She was a television presenter in Japan.
Right.
Is she still looking to do that stuff?
No, not anymore.
No. Retiring?
Yeah.
Okay. When did she come to the United States? Where did you meet her?
Well, I met her when she was still doing her job, and she interviewed me like back in like 2019 or something.
Oh, okay. So she was here. She was living in the United States.
Now, yes. She's in US now.
Oh, at the time, was she in Japan?
At the time, I went back to Japan in the summertime, and she was in Japan. And she never came to US till like this May or something. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So so she now obviously when you're on the road, you're playing. I mean, she's home. Does she have support? Does she have people that she knows here in Brooklyn and New York City?
Well, she knows a few people, but she just always, by herself going like Manhattan or like just exploring.
Yeah.
So
more so than you. You like to stay home. She likes to get out.
Yeah. So
that's good though.
She loves enjoying the time in Brooklyn.
That's right. It always takes balance, right? In a husband and wife, there's got to be a little balance.
Yeah.
Do you get home a lot during the off season? Are you able to go home to Japan?
Yeah. I go home for maybe a couple of weeks.
How has it changed now when you go back for you in the way people see you and approach you?
Yeah. So I can. I can't really go outside, because a lot of people recognize me. But it's good. It's great though. When I walk in the street, people always come to say hi, like asking a picture, autograph, stuff like that. So I really appreciate those support.
And meanwhile, in the United States and in New York, you could probably walk around and you're anonymous. I mean, people really don't know, right? I mean, you may get recognized now a little bit in Brooklyn, but was it shocking for you when you went back to see how did it give you a sense of how important your playing in the NBA maybe was to people in Japan?
Yeah, definitely. Also like just because I'm like super tall as Japanese,
You stand out a little bit.
yeah, like people in Japan, like people look at me like what is going on? Like, like they don't. I think like people who don't know me, like even like staring at me, oh, what is this guy doing? So.
Does that make it easier for you to be in the United States where you kind of don't stand out as much?
Yeah.
There's other tall people.
Right. And people don't really stare at me. No,
well, you
like
realize
Japan.
people, especially in New York, they're not really that taken back by celebrities or anybody. People in New York are kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care about me, so it's good.
Well, they care, but they don't show it. Do you get how do you get a sense though? Is it important from in Japan? Like you're one of only 3 guys that have ever played in the NBA from the country. That must be a very gratifying feeling for you and a sense of pride for you.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm really proud of what I've been doing right now with Rui. Because when I was growing up, like I said, there was only one Japanese, Yuta Tabuse, played in the league. Mm-hmm. So it was almost like people think like it's impossible for Japanese to make it to the league. But now, I think a lot of kids in Japan watching me and Rui play in the league. So I just want them to, feel like it's possible to make it to the league.
I know you went to visit a high school in Brooklyn for Japanese students, and you played some basketball with them. You walked in, and I remember you said something like you didn't know if they were going to even know who you were. Yet they went crazy when they saw you. So that must have, when you saw that must have really kind of put it in perspective for you a little bit.
Yeah. And, they were like really crazy, like when they see me. Yeah, so that was, I had an amazing time, just playing basketball.
Yeah. You were taking some of those kids to the hole, I saw. You weren't being shy. You weren't being shy. You talked about Japanese people being shy and kind of reserved. Yeah. You show your emotion on the court. You're pumping your fists. You're flexing a little bit. You do the 3 to the dome like Carmelo a little bit. Is that, were you always like that? Is that something that playing in the United States maybe brought that out of you? Are you an emotional type person?
I guess I was even like when I was in Japan, but it definitely, I'm doing definitely more than when I was in Japan though.
Did your teammates used to try in college? They used to tell you needed to do a little more?
Yeah. One of my teammates, when I was a freshman, one of my teammates told me that, like, when you make shots, like, you gotta show more, like, emotion, like, cause, I'm a quiet guy, especially off court. I don't really, I think I'm a shy guy, but on the court, like, I can't be shy, so.
But it's got to be natural. I mean, you're not. I see you get excited after you make a 3. That's something that's in you, and it's good to have that outlet, right? I always feel like I'm the same way. I'm very soft spoken when I'm around people sometimes and everything, but when I'm on doing a game, I'm excited and I'm yelling and I'm Watanabe from 3, it's good, and I'm going crazy. It's like that's my chance to kind of let it out. You feel like that on the court is your chance to kind of let that emotion out for you a little bit?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't even think about it,
Yeah, exactly.
Just, let my body or let my emotion go. So, it's been good.
And I saw you coming out of the building one day. You didn't even have a car. You rode up in the elevator for the cars with your wife and you just walked out. And there were all these kids that were standing around and they had Watanabe jerseys. That they wanted you to sign, and you stopped and you signed for them. That must have been a nice moment for you.
Yeah.
To see that.
I mean, I always really appreciate, fans showing the support. So, every time I see my jersey, I gotta sign them.
That's if they're waiting outside with those jerseys, man. Yeah, right. You're gonna do it, and it's and it's great that that they're so welcoming to you, and we hope it goes on. Now, I just have one thing I want to end this with. I like to end it all the people on the show here to get a little insight into them personally. I refer to this speech that was made many years ago by a college coach named Jim Valvano. I don't know if you know, Jim Valvano was a coach at NC State, and they won a championship, famous buzzer beater shot, and he ran around the court like crazy looking for somebody to hug, and he ended up getting cancer, and he was at the ESPYs, and they now have the Jimmy V Fund, which raises money for cancer research, but he gave this very famous speech at the ESPYs about never give up. You may have seen it at some point. And he said to live a full life, everyone should do 3 things every day. One is laugh. One is cry, whether happy or sad, moved emotionally. And the other is think. Spend some time in deep thought. And he said, if you can do those 3 things, you can live a great life every day. So I like to ask my subjects. So Yuta Watanabe, what or who or something, what makes you laugh? What's the kind of thing that makes you laugh?
Comedy, I think.
Like a movie? Do you have a favorite comedy movie?
Well, movie, I don't know, but I mean, I always watch Japanese comedy shows, so it's
some of those Japanese. I've seen some of the Japanese talk shows that are like the primetime talk shows. They're crazy.
Yeah,
right. A lot of stuff going on.
And I always
love that stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, like the Jimmy Kimmel of Japan. Like they just do outrageous. There's like 70 people on stage. There's a million things going on. They get very. I've seen American actors go on there and they're asking them all kinds of crazy questions. Right? It's wild. The other part, emotionally, I don't know if you're a crier. I don't know. I know I could watch a commercial on TV and I can get a little worked up. Is there something that moves you to tears, whether happy or sad? Or maybe recently that you've seen?
Cry.
Maybe you're not a crier. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me think.
When you went back home, when you see your parents, things like that, did that make you emotional? Or when you leave? Because I know you end up leaving for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't cry, but definitely.
Well, not so much the tears, just feel the emotion.
I definitely especially like when I leave, and like I always notice that my dad really is showing his emotion, but like my mom is always. I know, like she's already put a smile on her face, but I can tell inside like she's gonna miss me and stuff like that. So yeah, like when I leave, yeah.
Did they come to the United States to see you play?
Not recently though, because of the COVID. But they said they already booked a flight for the February. So
awesome.
I'm gonna see them in like 2 months.
Oh, that's great. The think part of this, there's that video board outside the arena, the Oculus, they call it, the circular video board, and everyone who's coming through the subway, coming up or coming into the arena, thousands of people get to see what's on that board. If you could put a message there for people to make them something they want to think about, something you'd like to express to as many people as you possibly could, Yuta Watanabe, what do you think that might be?
Okay, so can you?
So like, it's something that you would like people to think about. Maybe it's a phrase, maybe something that stayed with you in your journey to the NBA that you would want other people to know and to think about
what was something you would put up on that message board?
I guess I'm gonna just like ask them like, are you happy? You know, because I've been through like a lot of tough situations. I've been through like a lot of stuff, but I'm always a happy guy, and just being happy makes me happy. So
yeah, and if you're not, why not?
Yeah,
and make those changes.
Mm-hmm.
Life's too short, right?
Right.
Enjoy it.
Just be happy. If you're not happy, find happiness.
We've had a lot of people have answered this question, and I don't think anything's just more poignant or better than that. Yuta, I really appreciate you doing this. Best of luck to you getting back out on the floor, and I'm happy you did this, and I thank you so much.
Yeah,
and good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates,